Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be doing another planner video, but this is a little bit different because we're going to be talking about making the most of your planner. I do lots of planner videos reviewing all different types and kind of showing you what they look like and all the rest of it, but I really felt like we should do a video on how to actually use it. What are we writing in these planners? How to get the most out of it? They can be quite expensive to purchase, and we all know about using stickers and decorating them and making them look pretty, but this is really about what to actually be writing down and how to get the most from it and set goals and things like that. And before we get into that, I just want to mention the sponsor of today's video, which is Skillshare. And you guys know I love Skillshare. It's an online learning community where they have loads and loads of classes on every different topic you can think of in the creative area. So think things like crafting, art, music. If you are looking to do your own business, so anything to do with Etsy and YouTube and social media and how to do all that kind of thing. Whether you're looking to start a specific project or learn a new skill, maybe you're looking for a new hobby to enjoy. There are so many different things on Skillshare. It's just endless. I use this platform for so many different things, and the class that I've been doing at the moment is Real Productivity, How to Build Habits That Last. And this particular class is by Thomas Frank, who also has a YouTube channel. Something I find really useful and enjoyable is finding new ways to manage my time so that I make sure I've got a balance of getting everything done that I need to do, but also having plenty of time to do nice things, relaxing things, social time, and this class is definitely helping with that. Most of the classes are 60 minutes or less, so if you worry about never having enough time to do these things, you can pick up the classes and put them back down as and when you have time, so it's perfect for everybody. And for the first 1,000 of my subscribers who click the link in the description and join Skillshare, you will get a 2-month premium membership. And 2 months is a great free trial. It gives you plenty of time to explore all the classes, explore all the different topics, explore your creativity, and the cost after the trial is less than $10 per month for an annual subscription, so it's really great value. So definitely click the link in the description to get your free trial. So I'm going to be turning the camera around now to look down at the planner so I can talk you through how to actually use your planner once you've got it. I know a lot of you recently have purchased new planners and you've been mentioning that in the comments of the planner review videos, so now it's time to figure out what we're actually doing with them, how to use them, and how to kind of get the most out of it. So we're going to be looking at 2 different planners for this because I know people use different types of planner. So we've got a daily planner here. This is the Erin Condren Daily Duo, and I have the Box Clever Press planner, which has the whole week on one double page. So I just wanted to show that what we're talking about can be applied to any different type of planner. So I've opened up each planner to a kind of blank week. This one has a few stickers in place, but we'll kind of talk through those in a second. So anyone can buy a regular diary or a planner and just write things down that are happening on certain days. Now, we all know that a lot of people have always used a paper diary and had that type of thing, but when you're buying a planner which has more kind of features and ways you can use it, just writing things down like that is not necessarily going to help you in any way to be more productive. So that is one of the things though that is important, is to just write down timed events. So I normally just call them events. It can be literally anything that is happening at a certain time. So think things like meetings and the school run, or some other kind of work commitment or a social commitment, but something that is happening at a certain time. So the first thing I would do on any given week is write those things down. So like I was saying before, we have this kind of weekly spread, which is similar to a lot of planners that people use, and then this is the Erin Condren Daily Duo. I'm just going to fold this one over so we can just see one page. Okay, there we go. I folded them both over so that we can easily see them side by side. So when you're writing things down, obviously in a daily planner, we've got a whole page like this for one day. This one, we have this much space for one day. So very, very different. This type of planner is definitely for somebody who has a lot of things to do in a day. This is very good if you're going to be using this for work and you very specifically need to break down what you're doing at what time. This planner is more something where you don't have to have that much detail, but either way, if you do have something, I'm going to write in pencil here because I'm going to write down some fictitious things that are going to be happening in this fictional week. So let's just say on Monday we have a meeting at, I don't know, 3 p.m. So in this planner, obviously you just find your 3 p.m. Okay, so we've written our meeting down, and with this one, I would kind of break this down into 4 because there's 4 lines here. So I would have morning, lunchtime, afternoon, evening. That's probably what I would do, but you can kind of use this however you want. But the point we're making here is writing down your specific things that are happening at specific times. So I'm just going to go ahead and invent a couple of other things. Let's just say we were going to have lunch with a friend. Let's have lunch with Becky. That's going to be at 12, so we'll just put that here as well. So normally I would do this on a Sunday night, go through the planner, and for that week write down all of my timed events. You will have certain things that happen regularly, so each week they're the same. For example, on a Tuesday evening we do our live stream over on Disney in Detail, so I do already have that there, so I'll just put that here as well. And usually I would have lots more, but because we're just talking through this, I'm not going to put a bunch of stuff in, but you get the idea. You want to just put in place, first of all, anything happening at a certain time. So once you have all of your specific timed events written down, the next thing to turn your attention to is your to-do list. So to-do list can be anything that is specific that you want to get done. So not things necessarily that you are wanting to do or like inventing. These are just things that you need to do. So it could be cleaning, it could be shopping, it could be paying bills, phone calls you have to make, all of that type of thing. So again, with the Daily Duo, you have your to-do list for every single day. With this planner and with many other planners, they will have a type of layout like this, where you then have a to-do list for the entire week. So that would be the next thing I do after my timed events, is to write down any to-dos. So I'm just going to write down a couple of things that I would regularly have on my to-do list. So I've just written down a few things there. In this planner, I've put them all on this particular day, just because we are obviously looking at this day. But what I would do is go through the week, and if I know that I wanted to do certain things on certain days, I would put them on that day. This is where a weekly planner can actually be quite useful, is having your whole week laid out like this, because in this type of planner, what I would do is do like a master to-do list. So everything I know I want to get done that week, and then I would take these things and slot them onto certain days. That's one of the best ways of not getting overwhelmed. If you just see a huge long to-do list, you think, oh my gosh, like I have to get all of those things done, and kind of tick them off, and it just seems too much. But if you can break them down onto certain days, that's really, really useful. But it is good to have them in one long list first of all, and then you can allocate them to certain days. And that's one of the best ways I found to do it, in terms of not getting overwhelmed and making sure that you're not overloading one particular day, is to slot these tasks into certain days once you have seen a picture of your whole week laid out like this. So with the Daily Duo planner, what I would probably do, because you don't obviously have a weekly view in this particular planner, there's 2 different ways you could work it. I'm just going to a month here where I don't have much written down, because I do have some things written on other months that I don't necessarily want everyone to see about upcoming content and stuff. So because you have the monthly layout in the Daily Duo planner, you could definitely do this same process with making a to-do list and allocating it to certain days, but just using these boxes instead. I personally use this to plan out my content, so I don't necessarily do it that way, but you definitely could if you don't need to use this area for something specific. It really depends what works for you. I know this Daily Duo planner, for a lot of people, they just simply wouldn't need all of this space for one day. And that's why this type of thing is a lot better for some people, but I just want to show you both to just give you an idea how the particular way that I do it would work with any type of planner. And normally, to make my master to-do list, I would take one of these little list pads from my Erin Condren sticky notes, and then I would just kind of stick that there, do the whole long list like we're doing with that one, and then you can do the same thing. So that's the next thing to do, is just take all of your to-dos and slot them into the right place. And this is really where it's important to not overload each day, because what can end up happening if you've got your long to-do list here and you think, okay, I have this, I don't know how many boxes there are here, but I have this many things to do, and you literally cut them down into each day, you're suddenly going to find every single one of these boxes completely full up on every single day. You're probably then going to have extra post-it notes stuck everywhere. And the main thing is to be realistic about how many things you can get done in one day, and just take a look at what these to-dos are. So for example, if you take tidy living room, depending how messy your living room is, that could either take 10 minutes if you just have to kind of pick things up. It could take 30 minutes, it could take an hour. So really think about how big these tasks are before you're allocating them to your days. And because we've already got our timed events, so we can see on this particular day, we're having lunch with Becky at 12, we're having a meeting at 3 p.m. That's a big chunk of this day. So there would be no point in putting several different to-dos on this day because I simply would not have time to do that. So really thinking about how long these things are going to take rather than just putting them anywhere, because we can write things down anywhere, but really thinking through, can I actually achieve that? Can I get that done on that day is very important, because otherwise what will happen, and this is something that I've fallen into so many times, especially with this planner, is that this to-do list, certain things on it will then go across to this day, and then it will go across to this day, then it will get moved to this day, because it will be a task that I'm not allocating properly to a day where I realistically can get it done. And there's nothing worse and more kind of demotivating than having something that just keeps going from day to day and never actually getting finished. So that's one really important thing, but that's why it's important to have your timed events in first, so you can really see how much time you are going to have each day. And the other thing that I do in terms of to-dos is having at the top here the most important thing to get done that day. It's unfortunate that this sticker says goal, because it's not really a goal. This should really say most important or must get done today or something. I think some of the other stickers I use, so this one says get it done. So basically this little space at the top is the number one thing I have to get done this day. And I must admit, since I've started doing this, it's really helped me, because quite often you've got your to-do list, you've written everything out, but you're then kind of thinking, oh, what do I do first? Do I do this? Or you tend to do the thing you want to do the most and put off the things you don't want to do, which is another classic thing that will really cause problems with your productivity and achieving things you need to do. So always try and write down what is most important out of all the things on my to-do list, what must get done today. If you don't have anything that is absolutely crucial for that day, I would choose the thing that you would like to get out of the way the most, or that you just really wish would get off your to-do list. That's what I would put there. And in this type of planner where you don't necessarily have this space to put something specific, I would maybe highlight the little box of the thing that's the most important. So the other thing with this one, because we do have less space, let's just talk about quickly the other thing that I would do, and that is color coding. So we're using pencil here because these are fictitious things that I've just written down to show you. But one thing that helps me so much, and it sounds like such a simple thing, is color coding what I'm writing down. So this is where all my various different pens, is kind of one of my excuses for having all these pens, I won't lie, is to have different colors for different things. So for example, for me, anything to do with my Disney in Detail channel is always green. Anything to do with this channel, Victoria in Detail, I write down in pink. Then to-dos, I always write down in purple. Anything that doesn't fall into any of those categories, I write in grey, and anything that has to do with Ian, I write in blue. And I was able to tell you that off the top of my head because that is always how I do things. So when I'm looking at this diary at a glance, if you were just looking at a sea of like one colour or biro or pencil or whatever, it doesn't really stand out to you. It's not immediately clear to me, okay, what's the priority here? What does this have to do with? What's that? So colour coding for me is so key, and it really does help me in being able to quickly see what is going on. So what I would do in both of these planners, for me, my to-do list, whether it's on the post-it or whether it's written down here once I've actually decided what is happening when, or this list would be in purple. So I know as soon as I see it, this is my to-do list. And then on my timed events, so my lunch with Becky would be written in grey because it's a thing that I'm doing. It doesn't fall into any of the other categories. And the meeting, depending what it was to do with, if it was generally to do with YouTube or something to do with my channel, I would write it in either of these colours. If it was specific to one of the channels, I would obviously write it in one of those. But it does mean that when I look at it, I immediately know what that has to do with. So if you have children, for example, anything that you write in pink could be to do with them, anything that you write in green could be to do with work, and anything you write in purple could be your social time, and grey could be your to-dos, or whatever, however many different categories you need. It does take a few weeks just to get used to it, but once you have these colours in your head, I guarantee you, as soon as you look at your planner, you know exactly what you're looking at, and I can't tell you how much that helps me. Not everything works the same for everybody, but that is definitely something that I do. So once you're done planning out your week, like I say, you'd have your purple to-dos, and then on the particular days, whatever colour things are written in, I then know exactly whether it's a timed event and what it's to do with, whether it's a to-do, if it's written here in purple, whether it's just something totally random, which would be written in grey. If it's written in blue, I know it's something to do with Ian, and so on. And that really, honestly, is just so helpful. So that is to-dos. And the next thing we're going to talk about is goals. So goals are more something that you generally want to achieve, but it's not necessarily a to-do. So let's just think of some off the top of my head. It could be exercise. So you don't necessarily have an exercise class booked in at the gym, or a gym session with a trainer or something, which would be one of your timed events, but you know that you want to do more exercise this week. So that would be one of your goals. It could be you want to drink more water. Say you've realised you're not drinking any water, and one of your goals for this week is to drink more water. So those type of things need to be written down. If you don't write them down, you just end up forgetting about them, I can promise you. It just always happens. So in the Erin Condren planner, that's what I use this space for at the bottom. So this little trainer sticker is always to do with exercise, and next to it, I know that this is a goal, is to do some exercise. When I get to the end of each day, or sometimes at the end of the week, I think, okay, did I do any exercise today? If the answer is no, I would put a little cross next to it. If it's yes, I would write what I did and that type of thing, so that I'm really keeping an eye on it. But it's not a specific thing that's happening at a certain time, if that makes any sense. So then I have this Instagram sticker. So did I post to Instagram that day? I like to try and post to Instagram every day. I don't always. So rather than having something up here generically saying post to Instagram, well, that doesn't really mean anything. It's not specific. It's not saying post this specific thing. So down here, I will always put, did I post yes or no? Then when I'm reviewing my week, I can look at these things and see what's going on. Again, I sometimes use this sticker here to write down water. So then I can tick it, did I drink a litre of water today, or 2 litres, or whatever it is that you've got in your head. But this is just an area for you to see every single day and think, am I doing these things? And maybe goals isn't necessarily the only word. Habits can be another thing. So habits or goals, anything that you're sort of looking to try and improve, I think is a really great way to use this little space. In this planner, we do have this little section, which is notes and next week. I personally would use this section for this type of thing. So it could be that you get a habit tracker sticker. You could even draw yourself a little habit tracker box if you don't have a sticker. I will link a video where I set up the Erin Condren planner, and I did a similar type of thing on the monthly page. So you could do yourself one of those for each week, but that's what I would use this particular space for. But most planners, depending which one you use, you can take these tips and figure out where on the page you are going to do these certain things. But I do think it's important to have your kind of habits and goals written down, but equally it has to work in conjunction with everything else you're trying to do. You don't want to get overwhelmed, so you don't want all of these generic things written up here so that this list is just endlessly long and you end up taking one look at it and not wanting to do any of it because it is just too much and it's too overwhelming. So the main takeaways from what we've talked about so far is you want to have your timed events is the first thing you put into your planner when you're planning your week. Then you want to have your to-dos and, like I say, make a master list first and then put them onto certain days according to what time you have, and then also pay some attention to your habits and goals that you are wanting or trying to achieve. Then we have the color coding. So this video is pretty much going to be like 5 little tips that I have. So the fourth one is your color coding. And then the last thing I always do at the end of each week is to do a little assessment. So Sunday evenings, I think I said at the beginning of this video, is when I would do my planning for the previous week. What I also do is a little quick analysis of the week before. So what I would do is take a look through the pages, or if I was using this one, I would kind of look at the whole thing And first of all, before I do anything else, I would think, okay, how many of these things did I achieve? And because we've got tick boxes here, you can clearly see, did I get that done? Did I not? In this planner, you've obviously got your little tick boxes there as well. So how did I do? If you take a look at the week and think, okay, I got one thing done every single day, but I had 4 things written down, clearly you can see there that something is happening. Either you're overloading your days and you're giving yourself an unrealistic amount of things to do, or you are procrastinating and not getting anything done. And that can be a whole separate situation. There can be many reasons that can be happening. It can be to do with mental health. It can be to do with things that are on your mind that are happening in your life and stuff like that. That's really something that I can't necessarily advise on, but it's worth just having a look. It could be that you look at it and think, actually, I was just really lazy that week and I sat around playing Animal Crossing instead of doing the things that I should be doing. And that's really where this comes into play, because you can think, okay, why did I do that? I'm not getting anything done because I'm getting totally distracted by something else. And just taking a look at it and really assessing why you may not have got things done can actually be quite useful then for the following week. But it's not always just that you've been lazy, but it could be. So it's just worth taking a look at yourself and a look at what happened that week. But that's why I think it's important to not overload yourself, because often I've looked back at a week and thought, okay, the reason that I didn't get that done is because I was trying to do 6 different things when I've got one particular thing that was always going to take up most of the day. So straight away, you've kind of set yourself up there to not get those things done. So definitely have a look at your week before you then go on to planning the next week. So once you've had a look at it, assessed what is going on, then you can turn over to your fresh week, start again. You can learn from what happened in this one, start doing everything again. So putting in your timed events, putting in your to-dos. If you do have things that didn't get done, obviously in this one, you can move them from here onto here, but try to avoid that as much as possible, because that's when things just build up and up and up and never get done. So those are my main tips for how I use my planner. There's a lot more that we could kind of deep dive into, but I just wanted to give you an overview of how I kind of approach things, how I use it, and not just using it like a diary where you kind of just write something down. Like, anybody can do that. That's not necessarily going to help you. So this is just my process. But I'd really love to know in the comments if you have certain things that you do, if you have ideas, or if any of the ideas I've given you're going to start using. I love hearing from you guys, so definitely comment below anything to do with your planning process. Also, let me know in the comments which planner that you use and whether you like it, or whether you've seen a different one that you might try for next year. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to make sure you get notified of all of my videos that are coming up. And also I will link my other channels below, Disney in Detail and Animal Crossing in Detail, as well as my social media. If you head over there, I quite often post about my planners and things on Instagram, so be sure to follow along. Also, don't forget to click the link in the description for your 2-month free trial to Skillshare. There's several classes on Skillshare about planners as well, so there's definitely things there to check out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.